What are the top tips for having a phenomenal cruise on Princess Cruises? I'm Gary Bembridge. This is another of my tips for travelers. I'm on Sky Princess on a Princess Cruise, and I thought I'd collect together my top 10 tips for having a great cruise on a Princess Cruise, starting with this one. First of all, make sure that you choose the time of year and the length of cruise that's going to suit the type of passengers you want to be with. During the course of the year, based on the itinerary, the passenger mix on board Princess Cruises changes quite a lot. So for example, if you want to travel with lots of families and kids, perhaps multi-generational, take a look at cruises in the peak summer periods because there will be a lot of families on board. So for example, in some of the Royal class ships, like I'm on now, the Sky Princess, they can have up to 800 kids on board during the peak season. So 400 kids in the kids club. However, if you go on the more shoulder seasons, so perhaps June time or October time, you're going to find almost no families, and it's going to be slightly older, more mature couples. So really make sure, as you think about the itinerary and the length of cruise and the time of year, think about who are the passengers you want to be with. Do you want to be with lots of families, perhaps a bit more lighthearted, a bit more noisy, a bit more boisterous, or do you want something a little bit more quiet, civilized, and more couples? Really important, make sure you choose the itinerary and the time of year based on the passenger mix you're looking for. The second tip I have, which is a little bit left field, is get more onboard credit. There's various ways you can get onboard credit. So sometimes if you're looking to book particularly well in advance, you'll often find that Princess Cruises or your travel agent will have different offers where you can either get upgrades or you get extra onboard credit or you get drinks packages bundled in. So sign up for the newsletter, make sure that you know the different promotions that are going. However, there's another one, and that's something that I use a lot, is I own shares in Carnival Corporation. So any of the Carnival brands of which Princess is one, if you apply, you can get a shareholder benefit. So for example, you can get onboard credit for up to $250 per cabin if you're going on a cruise for 14 days or longer. There's a little bit of admin involved because you do have to send away for it, but it's definitely a way, if you cruise a lot, of getting extra onboard credit. Another really important tip is make sure that you understand exactly what your fare includes and excludes so you don't have any nasty surprises, and also you can budget properly for your Princess Cruise. So the obvious things are included: your accommodations included, access to pretty much all the facilities, the entertainment, the quizzes, fitness center, use of the swimming pools, all that stuff is included, and of course you can eat pretty much 24 hours a day. But there's a bunch of things that are not included. Gratuities are not included. Wi-Fi is not included. Excursions are not included. Now, I've mentioned there's lots of complimentary food or food included in your fare, but if you want to do some of the specialty dining, you are going to pay extra for that. Of course, some of the obvious things, if you're going to gamble, if you're going to do shopping, you're going to pay extra. Also, if you want to use the sanctuary is this very beautiful, quiet space, and you do pay a fee for using the sanctuary. One of the other big costs that can mount up are drinks. So specialty teas and coffees are not included. Normal teas and coffees up in the Lido or in the restaurants are included. But you can buy various drinks packages, anything from a premium package, which can cost around $50 per person per day. You can buy soda-only packages, which are much less, but drinks can mount up. So Wi-Fi, excursions, drinks, and gratuities are the big extra on costs that you need to understand and make sure that you've budgeted for. Building on that, another key tip that I have is really think about what dining experiences you're going to want to have. So whether you do want to include specialty dining or not. Personally, I think there are plenty of complimentary included dining options. One of the most important things you need to decide when you're making your booking is, do you want to go with the more traditional fixed dining? So they'll have an early sitting and a late sitting. You'll have your same table companions. So perhaps if you're traveling with a group of friends or you're doing it multi-generational, you might want that so you can all know you've got your table and your time eating together. Or you can go for any time dining. I really recommend when you make your booking, make that choice so you get your preferred option by making sure that you ask for it very early on. The other thing I would suggest is make sure that you do try all of the different options that are available. So for example, on Sky Princess, on the cruise that I've been on, I've gone to the main dining room, I've gone to the World Fresh Marketplace, which is the buffet dining option. I've eaten burgers at the Salty Dog Grill. I've had pizzas both up on the pool deck at the Slice and also down in Alfredo's. I've ordered room service. I've gone to the International Cafe, which is open 24 hours a day. So there's lots of different dining options dotted around the place that you can choose from. So make sure that as you look across your cruise, you think about all the different options that are available and you plan your dining around not only your fixed dining in the evening, but the different options that are available to kind of shake things up. There's a lot of dining options, so take advantage and try all of them. The next key tip is if you're cruising on a Princess cruise ship, which soon will be all of them, that has the Ocean Medallion. So one of these devices which replaces your cruise card. It's really important that you get Ocean ready before you come on the cruise. So you go onto the app and you upload a photograph, which they can use for security. You upload your ID, your passport, and this means that you have everything that they need to get you on the ship really quickly. Now, in some countries, they'll post this medallion to you, other countries to collect it at the port. And this little device becomes the medallion that checks you in, gets you on the ship really quickly. It even does things like it opens your cabin door by itself. It helps you do location-based ordering, so you can order drinks wherever you are around the ship and they'll come to you. It helps you track your friends and family so you know where they are. And it has a whole bunch of other personalized services that you can use with this either on devices around the ship or on the app. Another really important thing for making the most of your Princess cruise is really understand the dress code. Now, Princess Cruises is a pretty traditional cruise line and they do have dress codes. To make it simple, there's two key dress codes. So you have smart casual, where they basically talk about in the evenings, really think about you're going out to a restaurant in your local town, so you kind of dress appropriately. So you can get away with, sort of smart dark jeans, not faded and sort of torn jeans, but you can't wear things like shorts, but you can wear pretty casual stuff, chinos, smart trousers if you're a gent, just sort of smart dresses if you're a lady, or blouses and slacks, whatever. But they do have formal nights. Now, formal nights, there's roughly about one every 5 days of a cruise. And formal is, some people wear tuxedos, but gentlemen, you're expected to wear a jacket or a suit with a tie. Ladies, kind of the equivalent cocktail dresses. It's not big, glitzy ball gown stuff. Of course, you can if you want to. But the dress code on formal evenings, people are asked to follow that dress code. So make sure that if you're choosing Princess Cruises and you're packing appropriately, because if you're going on a cruise of more than 5 days, you're going to have a formal evening and you need to bring the right gear for that. So to make the most of it, feel comfortable and feel that you're dressed appropriately. Really important, understand the mix of dress codes and bring the appropriate clothing. My next tip is take advantage of all of the activities that are going to take place on Princess Cruises. They have every day the Princess Patter, or you can also look on the app to see what's on. And there's a wide range of entertainment. There's quizzes, there's little golf putting competitions, all sorts of things going on, line dancing classes, trivia, but also make sure that you do see the production shows. One of the things that I think Princess are showing that they're doing is they're trying to increase and up the ante in their production shows. So for example, on Sky Princess, they've premiered a new show called Rock Opera at the time that I'm on board. They clearly spent a lot of money. It's a huge, big cast, incredible costumes, and the audience absolutely went crazy. And a lot of people were talking about how it's one of the best shows they've seen at sea. There's lots going on to get real good value from your cruise. Just get stuck in and take advantage of all the different activities. Another really critical tip for getting the most out of your cruise is before you go, think about and plan what you're going to do in every single port. Now, a lot of people like to go with the Princess excursions. The advantage of going on an excursion organized by Princess is they guarantee that if there's any problem with the excursion, the ship will wait until it gets back. If you self-tour, go self-exploring, they do not guarantee that they will wait for you. At the all-aboard time, the ship will leave without you potentially. So really important, a lot of people would much rather just go with the Princess Cruises. So bear that in mind when you're looking at tours. However, I would encourage you to also have a look at other options. So you can take a look before you go on the cruise at the different ports. You can look at what Princess are offering. And one of the things that I suggest you also consider doing is perhaps taking a couple of days where you self-tour. Now, Princess Cruises will help you with that. So they'll give you a port guide. They also have talks, which the shore excursions people run, where they talk through each of the individual ports. Obviously, part of the objective is to encourage you to go on the tours, but they will also give you lots of tips around self-exploring. They often will arrange to have local representatives from the tourism board, either on board or on port side. Of course, at shore excursions desks, they will answer many questions. So there's lots of options around also mixing it up, doing some princess tours, some self-touring, particularly if you've been to a port before. One of my favorite things to look at is, first of all, princess cruises will normally have some sort of shuttle into the town if it's not within easy walking distance, which you can take advantage of. And also, you'll often find that the hop-on, hop-off bus will come to the port area where Princess Cruises docks. Also on the television, you'll normally find there are videos around excursions or the different ports of call. My next tip is around some little sneaky packing tips. I've already mentioned the dress code, but a couple of other key things you might want to think about when you're packing for your Princess Cruise is think about adapters. Now, on board, you're going to find on the ships normally a US or a European 2-pin style. So make sure though that you definitely always bring at least the US adapter if you don't naturally have US adapters. Also increasingly, of course, on the more modern ships, you're going to start to find lots of USB ports to charge your various devices with. Secondly, you don't necessarily need to bring shower gels and shampoos because you will find those provided within your cabin. Bear in mind, if you run out of any toiletries, you can buy those in the shops or of course in the ports. My next tip is around some money saving ideas. There's a couple of things that you can do to save money on your Princess Cruise. First of all, Princess Cruises allows you to bring some of your own alcohol on board. It's very strict limits, but you can bring some on board. So just double check what the current allowance is and make sure you bring that on board because you are going to save money. The second thing to do is take a look at the different packages. Now, there are a range of packages for different things. So, for example, there are drinks packages. The other packages you can buy Wi-Fi packages across the course of a cruise, and so always check out those packages. So definitely check out if there's any offers or deals or packages. You can often book those in advance online, but once you get on board, see what are going. Particularly on embarkation day, you'll find there's often lots of deals. The other key thing is if you love Princess Cruises, always consider booking your next cruise on board. They will normally give you extra discounts or extra onboard credit. And so it's worth doing on board rather than waiting to get home because you don't get those benefits once you get back home. The other thing is you can also save money on pretty much all Princess Cruises ships by doing your own laundry with the coin-operated laundromats across the various and different ships. That's 10 tips on how to have a great, phenomenal cruise on Princess Cruises. Hope you find that helpful. Remember, I have many, many more videos packed full of tips on Princess and other cruising tips. So why don't you watch another one of those right now?